If you're wondering, yes, I am smart enough to realise what hole I'm getting myself into with this video topic. But the purpose of this video is to open a dialogue between those who find Ghost Game to be not quite what they wanted and those who are very satisfied with Digimon Ghost Game so far. This video is not about me. It's about you, the viewer. I have gone ahead and taken some criticism of Digimon Ghost Game pulled across several different videos on my channel, from reviews to theories and discussions. Anonymously, of course. Not dropping anyone into it. I'm not saying that Ghost Game has a problem, I'm saying that there's a lot of people say that Ghost Game has a problem, and it is undeniable. You know, these comments aren't the only 10 that I could find across my whole channel. I had a very vast selection to pick from when doing this video. It's not a negative video, it's just being open and transparent about the direction of which Digimon Ghost Game is going in, and what it has done so far. So let's get started. One criticism to address is we're 12 episodes in and we don't have brackets fleshed out main story yet, and if they don't figure out something, then fans are going to start ghosting this game. Digimon series come in their own shapes and sizes and at their own different paces. Digimon Adventure 2020 was heavily criticised for this accelerated pace at the beginning, drag through the middle, and an acceleration again towards the end. Digimon Tamers had a very slow start. I've watched Digimon Tamers all the way through recently. It's very similar in that regard. There really is no plot for quite some time. It lets you indulge in the characters, the world, and Digimon first. I'm not saying that makes it good, it's just a very particular style, and this doesn't have to be for you. Me personally, I prefer fast pace. I'm not one to dwell on menial things, or at least what I consider menial, but that's just my 2 cents. One comment said that I hope the story really does develop like this episodic stuff is starting to grind. See, the thing that I think 2020 did well was that even though it was episodic and there was no super strong overall plot, the episodes week to week in and of themselves are pretty good. Now don't get me wrong, Ghost Game has had its fair share of these episodes as well. But I think because the scale is so much smaller and there's less evolutions back to back in this series so far, it's very much going to feel like we've dialed down the explosiveness of 2020. You know, you've watched my reviews, I do think some of the episodes have been a little bit grindy. But there have also been episodes where there's been no evolution, no overarching plot, which have been pretty fun. Another commenter says, all it takes is a returning character like Clockmon or Mummymon contributing to the story to make Digimon Ghost Game good. I do think one of the many purposes of Talk No Jutsu throughout Ghost Game has been to create opportunity to reintroduce some of these villains or misunderstood characters that they can use later on as either recurring villains or even allies. They're kind of doing this thing where they're dangling something in front of your face and saying, look, this is what it is, we're gonna leave it here, don't forget it's there, we'll pick it up later. But then with instances such as Dracumon, nothing's really come of that for 10 weeks. I've stated this in previous reviews and it continues to ring true here as well. My biggest fear with Digimon Ghost Game is that it will suffer from the main character syndrome that 2020 did, with Taichi and Yamato being the main focus. I feel like the overabundance of heroes stealing the show and the focus being on Gamamon as evolutions could be a death blow to Ghost Game, and I really don't want that. I love Gamamon, he's swiftly become my favourite partner in Digimon, but I would very much like the spotlight to be pulled off of him in favour of fleshing out Angoramon and Jellymon a bit more. This is the modern era's problem with Digimon shonen anime series. The focus is always going to be on the main characters, and as much as Digimon shows have different tamers that are all main characters, there is only one main character, really. But in fairness with Gamamon, I think pushing all these evolutions out so fast, compared to Angoramon who has none, it's something to do with Gurus Gamamon as a potential cog in the overall machine that is the plot, which we don't know about yet. It looks like favoritism and it looks rushed now, but later on we might come to understand why they made these decisions, why they held off on Angoramon, why they went through with Gammon all the way through every single champion level. Much like with 2020, the reboot, some things might just be retrospectively explained. Still can't get into these fights, quote unquote, that aren't really fights like these Digivolutions. There's really no reason for each fight, and I feel like there are no stakes. I think across a lot of Digimon series, you know, I've just finished Cross Wars again, after rewatching Tamers, after finishing Digimon Adventure 2020. A lot of the Digimon battles are finished in maybe 2 or 3 hits. They're not long battles really, which rings true to the VPET battles, that's how they go. Well, apart from the Omegamon and the Bardamon final battle, because that was the best of all time anyway. Bar that exception, they usually are quite short fights. And since a lot of these Ghost Game characters aren't real villains, they're not really evil, it's so much easier to win the battle with Talk No Jutsu than it is just raw power. It's not really required, but I do understand what you mean by the not real fights. That is kind of true.
That's true. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. I mean, that's true.
This comment is obviously a long one. I'm just going to leave it on screen for you because I don't want to read it all out. But basically, this is an Angoramon fan complaining about the treatment of Gamamon, that favoritism once again, and Sinbara and Goromon not being included despite having tested Digimon more than 2 weeks ago. You know, I went back through the comments before and I went back onto the episode 12 review, and a lot of you disagreed with me about the need for Sinbara and Goromon soon. And I still disagree with you guys in that there isn't a need for Sinbara and Goromon. But I think the fair point that this person is making is that it's becoming so blatantly obvious. You know, we have all of Gamon's RGB evolutions. We have Tessagayamon, again, over 3 weeks ago. We had Angoramon's debut in episode 3. We're 3 months down the line with no evolution. It's not that it's necessarily a good or bad thing, it's just becoming very obvious. And it's upsetting some people for the sake of preserving the sanctity of some champion level, which will inevitably be reused over and over and over again later on anyway. As far as I'm concerned, the champion level has never had some prestige that needs to be saved. It doesn't really matter that much. I'm not saying this person is right or wrong, but it's just even holding out and savouring these evolutions can actually have adverse effects. I love DigimonGhostGame, but it's starting to suffer from no overarching plot. A villain would help curb that problem the past few weeks. I've not been rushing to see the episodes as they come out. It's become more, oh, there's a new episode of Ghost Game. I'll get to it at some point. When the series started, I felt like 11-year-old me rushing to watch my favourite show. I get what this person is saying, I do. But to be honest, having gone through Digimon Tamers, and then gone through Digimon Cross Wars after, these reappearing overarching villains like Bagramon and stuff, the D-Reaper made sense for what it was, but it took forever to get there. There was no sign of the D-Reaper earlier in the show. In Cross Wars we've seen Bagramon very early, but he didn't really impress me. I think the motivations is just the most generic kind of evil possible. So I think there is a redeeming quality in keeping the villain as a mystery, or not making it too obvious, but at the same time, again, withholding that information for too long can have adverse effect. I don't know if it's just me, but Ghost Game is kind of losing steam. I understand the slower pace of the story they are telling, but it's making me not look forward to the next episode, in contrast with Digimon Adventure 2020, that even with its failures made me want to know the next big thing that was going to happen. We are 11 episodes in, there's no big threat, almost every battle is resolved with talk no jutsu, and I see no great character growth or lore development, other than revelation of how Digimon materialization works. The final sentence is straight facts. Again, I think these feelings are a consequence of how someone reacts to the world building that Toei is doing with Ghost Game so far. They really want to immerse you in this more urban, futuristic lifestyle of the kids and technology, and with all these hologram ghosts. It's supposed to be a mystery thriller, that's the kind of style they're going for, and you know, once again, if that doesn't resonate with a lot of people, having a fun mystery every week, it's not really going to grab your attention. The only thing I can think of right now as the overall plot is finding out what happened with Hiro's father, but they've not even really tried to ask about that bar episode 9. Once. But everyone knows of some of the many comments I pulled from various videos across my channel regarding Digimon Ghost Game, but I think Ghost Game so far has definitely had parts within it which could appeal to all kinds of Digimon fans which prefer different things, me included. We still don't have the final episode count of Digimon Ghost Game, which kind of would have helped us gauge whether this pacing was right or not. We don't really know how slow they're being. So with regards to all these comments, I'm not gonna lie, I can't really give you a strong opinion on any of them. We have to wait for more information ultimately. But what do you guys think about these more skeptical thoughts of Ghost Game? Obviously, this goes without saying, keep it calm. But I hope you enjoyed this discussion video. I already know I'm gonna get swarmed with dislikes because I just can't be bothered to watch a video on their favourite franchise. It is what it is. But everyone, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Support me in any way you can. I really appreciate your time, but most importantly, take care.